Hey, this is Galen Herbst Cortina with Buff Your Finances, and today we're going to talk about the home office deduction for streamers. What it is, why it matters, why you should care about it. So the home office deduction is something that lets you write off a portion of what you pay for housing because you're using a portion of that housing as your workspace. As a streamer, you likely aren't going to a place that is outside your home to actually do your streaming. There are a couple people who do, but that's really rare, right? So the home office deduction acknowledges that. And there are two ways to calculate the home office deduction. The first is something called the simplified method, where if your office is 300 square feet or less, it lets you write off up to $5 per square foot, aka about $1,500 per year, in expenses for that home office deduction. The actual expenses method is a little different and a little more complicated, but also often can mean that you're able to write off more. So the actual method lets you write off what actually went into that office. So that could be things like the cost of painting the walls, if you just sort of, for instance, made your wall a green screen, or the cost of doing repairs or outfitting the space with soundproofing and stuff like that. Additionally, you can also write off a portion of your mortgage or rent that is in proportion to the amount that your home office is relative to the space that you live in. I'm going to use round numbers here just to make my math easy. If you live in a 1,000 square foot apartment and your office is 100 square feet, you can write off 10% of the amount that you pay in mortgage or rent as a business expense, assuming that that office is used primarily as your home workspace. That can really add up. I live in Southern California and rent is pretty expensive here, right? So if you were spending $2,000 a month on rent, you were able to write off $200 a month of that rent as a home office deduction. If you were living in other parts of the country and it was less, you'd be getting less of a benefit, to be fair. But again, you got to keep in mind, if you are someone who is streaming for a living, odds are you are actually renting a bigger space to account for the fact that you need a stream room, right? And generally something separate from your bedroom. Not always, but generally separate. So the home office deduction for streamers, in summary, is a way for you to write off a portion of what it is that you pay for housing in acknowledgement that you are using some of your housing for a business. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on it, please reach out to me on Twitter. I'm Galen Herbst Cortina, pretty easy to find. Or check out my site, buffyourfinances.com. I've got links out to my blog there, as well as just more information about how you can contact me. I also have an article that I've written on the home office deduction, so if you want something that you can refer back to, please check out the links below. Enjoy the rest of your day.